Breaking news just a half an hour ago by Shams. The Milwaukee Bucks are trading Khris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and a pick swap to the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr., and a second round draft compensation. A lot of people going back and forth already about it. How's Big Three going to do? How's Kyle Kuzma going to do with the Milwaukee Bucks? I mean, just quickly to look at from the Milwaukee perspective. I'll say right now, I don't think it's really a needle mover. I don't think it really puts him over the edge at all, or really, has him at better odds, maybe at most slightly better odds of what they are right now. But I mean, looking at it from Milwaukee Bucks perspective, it's just an upgrade in age, health. Essentially, Kuzma is slightly bigger than Khris Middleton. Middleton is 6'7", 222. Kuzma is 6'9", 221. So a slight upgrade in terms of just like their size. But again, I think it essentially just comes down to the age. I mean, Khris Middleton he's banged up. He's getting up there in age. He's missing games. And for this one, you're basically getting the same production as Middleton, somewhat, but just a much younger player. And, Kuzma is banged up right now with he's injured with an undisclosed injury. And then for Khris Middleton, again, banged up right now as he is, like we said, the last few years. But just looking at their stats real quick, compare it to 2024-25 season. The thing that really strikes out to you mostly is just the games played. Kuzma's played 32, Middleton's played 23 points. Slight edge, a few more points for Kuzma, 15.2 to 12.6. Rebounds, 5.8 to 3.7. So in terms of those aspects, again, with the size and just the younger, just being a slightly more productive player in terms of the points perspective, you can see the upgrade there. After that, it's iffy. You look at the assists, it drops. You're losing 4.4, dropping down to 2.5. Steals are relatively the same, 0.7 to 0.6. Blocks, tied 0.2 for both of them. Field goal percentage, you are going to decrease in that one with 0.51 to 0.42. 3-point percentage, you're going to 0.40 to 0.28. Field goal percentage, 0.84 to 0.60. Efficiency 0.59 to 0.46, and again, just going on the list, and it's outside really outside of the first three categories. The big one, of course, availability is a huge one, and points, it really drops off. The shooting percentage, the efficiency rate, it dramatically drops down. And once again, just to keep saying this over and over again, it just comes down to just age and availability. That's what it really comes down to. I don't really see this as a needle mover. Like I said, I think that they are just asking for what Khris Middleton was doing, but just being more available and maybe just being certainly more athletic at this point for the Milwaukee Bucks, for Dame Lillard and Giannis. Again, does this put them over the top? No, it's just a slight upgrade that could pay dividends down the line, especially in the playoffs when we've seen the last couple of years Giannis has been banged up, and also we've seen that too for Khris Middleton, where at least you have someone available for Dame Lillard down the stretch. If you look at the conference thus far, the Milwaukee Bucks are fifth in the Eastern Conference at 26-22, with only really just right behind them essentially is the Detroit Pistons at 6. The teams ahead of them right now is Indiana, Knicks, Boston, Cleveland. In terms of overall, they do rank 11th in the league. And then for the division, if anyone cares for that, they are third in the division, only behind Indiana and Cleveland. So again, I don't see this as a huge needle mover. It's just essentially just more availability. I don't really, at most, it's a slight upgrade, but at the end of the day, I don't really see this panning out because it's just how Kyle Kuzma is. To be honest with you, just not really all that, a fantastic player, to be honest. You look at the stats really down the line. If Khris Middleton was just a little bit more available with his injuries, this would, it would be obvious that you would take Khris Middleton. But again, unfortunately, with age and athleticism, that really plays a factor for Kyle Kuzma. I don't see this really panning out whatsoever. It's really just it's essentially going to come down to your stars. It's Dame Lillard and Giannis. Those are your two guys. Those are your two co-stars. They're going to have to carry the load, and you just hope Kyle Kuzma can just give you something out of nowhere. Hopefully he can average those 15 points a game, maybe give you a little bit more than that. But overall, I mean, just a small minor move for the Bucks getting ready for playoff time, and hopefully it pays off for them.